routine. And what Solomon tells you now, he's let me give you the problem before you even have the problem. Let me give you the answer before you even start life. He said, if you want to have a life that's full of joy, understand that life is an adventure. Understand that life is a life to be lived by faith. He tells us two things today. He says, listen, life is like a merchant setting out ships. He talks about two things, a merchant, or somebody that's sending out ships. He talks about a farmer. He says life is like life, when you look at life as an adventure, it's like a man that sends out ships. It's like a man that begins to plant seeds in the ground. It's giving you a picture of a farmer. It's giving you a picture of a merchant. In both activities, there's a great deal of faith that's required. To be a person that sends out ships. In those days, you got to think if your ship's going to come back. When you send out cargo, when you send out things away to far lands, he said, listen, in life, you're going to have to get up and do the will of God. You're going to get up and take steps of faith. You're going to have to go, you're going to send out ships, and you have to believe those ships are going to come back with the goods inside your life. He said, but if you sit there and think, I'm not going to set on no ships at all, because you're never going to go nowhere inside your life at all. You've got to take a risk. And Solomon was a risk taker. Solomon sent gold and silver and apes and ivory all over the world. And he believed those ships were going to come back. He believed and took a risk. Hey, listen, I might lose the whole ship, but at least I send out the ship. I'm believing for it to come back. And if it comes back, man, I got me a rich thing going on. And he also was a farmer. He says, listen, you've got to take a risk. You're going to have to sow some things in your life. Some things are going to have to die so that you can live. You have to take a risk in your life. You're going to have to say, listen, for a fact, I'm going to build, I'm going to sow, I'm going to plant. I know for a fact that it's going to come through in my life. Both activities, there's a great deal of faith that's required. Because neither the merchant or the farmer can control the circumstances. A farmer's job has to do is I got to plant the seed in the ground. And after that, I got to trust God for the rain. A farmer has to do that. A farmer has to believe, you know what, if I don't sit here and do nothing at all, I'm not going to have a crop. I'm going to have to put the seeds in the ground and believe God the rain is going to come. And when the rain comes, believe that enough rain is going to come. And when the sun comes out, I'm going to believe the sun's not going to dry this thing out. I'm going to believe for a great harvest in my life. I've got to take a risk. Now imagine if the farmer said, listen, I don't want to plant the seeds because what if it doesn't rain this year? This guy's never going to have nothing at all. Same thing with a merchant. A merchant has to get up and say, listen, I know for a fact that I'm going to send these ships out, and something's not going to destroy them. Some hurricane's not going to come in the ocean and destroy the ships that I have for my life. The ships might get shipwrecked by a reef or by a storm, be attacked by pirates, the cargo might be lost. For the farmer, the crop might be gone, the weather might destroy it, insects might destroy your farm or destroying the crops that you have. He said, listen, both these things take labor. And what he's trying to say is there's so many people in this place that you really say that that people mostly only use 10% of their potential in the house of God. Can you imagine that today? He's telling you and I, listen, you better learn to take adventures. You better learn to take a risk. If you're going to enjoy life, if you're going to live life to the fullest, learn to step out and say, God, I'm going to believe that I only live once on this earth, and after that, I'm going to live in heaven for eternity. But while I'm on this earth, I'm going to live by faith, walk by faith, talk by faith. I'm going to do by faith my life that's in God. Now think about what I'm saying. They say most Christians only use 10% of their potential. That means that they're only using 10%. Think about how good you are right now. Think about, man, I'm good at my finance, I'm good at my job, I'm good at my business, I'm good at my marriage, I'm good at these things. You're only using 10% though of what you really have inside your life. That means there's 90% of potential that you don't even use in your life. If you put a little more adventure, a little more risk in your life, you can do even more. I think about this in my life a lot. I say, God, I know you want to do more. I know this is not all that you have. I know that you want to save thousands, you want to save millions, God. My mind is starting to literally shift to that. And it's very important that our minds begin to shift and say, God, I'm going to believe you. He talks about someone casting your bread upon the waters. You're going to see it after many days. He's talking about people that are saying, listen, to plant stuff in the ground and know for a fact, God, I'm planting right now, but I know you're going to bring the increase later on. What I do today is going to affect me for tomorrow, God. I wonder how many people today are here. You have all these dreams, all these goals, all these visions in your life. But you're sitting here because you're afraid to venture out. You're afraid to take a risk. Life is an adventure. Life is something that's amazing. We go overseas, I can't stand flying at all. I hate flying. I cannot stand flying 20 hours or 21 hours. I cannot stand it. But I love to be in other countries preaching the Word of God. I love to see other people, man, get saved and see people get to know God. But the risk of it was like, man, you got to take a risk. Every time I get on a plane, I said, Lord, help me, Jesus. Let me come back. And when I come back to America, I'm excited. Like, man, I love America. But you got to understand, there's got to be risk in these things. There's somebody today, I want you to look into your life today. You got to learn to take a risk. Life is an adventure. I guarantee you. You talk to anybody that's 80 or 90 years old. If you go to the convalescent home, you tell me, what would you do all over if you could do things all over? Many would tell you, man, I would have did this, I would have did that, I would have started that, I would have did this, I would have did this, I would have did that. They would have did many things in their life if they would have had hindsight. It's crazy because Solomon is saying we must live by faith and not by sight. And believe His Word every single day of our lives. Just don't send out the ships, but understand that God's going to bless you and God's going to bring in more ships. Today I want you to think about this. Life is an adventure of faith. And each of us must live like a merchant, investing every single day. And life is like a farmer. You're going to see different seasons inside your life, different soils. But God's going to bring a harvest inside your life. Today, let me tell you something. For some of you that you struggle with your dreams, your vision, your goals, you say, I don't know if this is going to happen at all. Let me tell you something. You're going to have to take a step of faith. Understand life's an adventure. Understand, hey, listen, I only got one shot to do this thing, and I'm going to start doing it now. You got all kinds of this. What if I fail? What if you fail? You get up and you learn from your failure. Remember I was saying a while back, our society teaches so much on success that it forgets. Before somebody can have success, you can have a lot of failure inside your life. I was telling you just a while back, a winner is a loser that got right back up again. A winner is somebody that got shot, got right back up, and they started learning how to fight again. You learn from failure. You learn from those things. Without failure, you can never have success at all. And you're going to fail many things inside your life. But you begin to learn all those things. I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again for a fact. But you've got to get up and take life as an adventure. Some of you know what I'm talking about today. You've been sitting there. You're afraid. You're scared. You're afraid to send out the ships. You say, man, what if a storm comes? What if this comes? You're afraid. You're like that farmer that sits there. And I know that God is great. I know that God is awesome. I know God's works the greater things will I do because He goes to the Father. But I'm afraid to plant the seed. I'm afraid to sow the seed. I'm afraid, what if it doesn't work at all? Because you got to learn to plant. The second thing he says, if you're going to enjoy life, his life is a gift, so enjoy it. He says in Ecclesiastes 11, verse 17, truly the life is sweet and is pleasant for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man lives many years and rejoices in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they will be many. All that is coming is vanity. See God in early life. See God in early life. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these God will bring you to judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from your heart and put away evil from your flesh. For child and youth are vanity. And all of a sudden Solomon shows us a picture here to accept life. That life's a gift. To literally, not only are you supposed to live your life as an adventure, but live your life as a gift. Learn to enjoy your life. Learn to say, God, I'm going to enjoy what God's given me. But a lot of people don't enjoy life. A lot of people don't enjoy where they're at inside their life. He says, listen, take time with your children. Take time doing great things. There's three things that Solomon brings out in this text today. He brings out rejoice, remove, and remember. The first one, he says, listen, you got to learn to rejoice. Solomon talks about the preciousness of life. He goes on to say these words, surely the life is sweet and pleasant for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man lives many years and rejoices in them all, seek God early. See God early in life. Rejoice, O young man, your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. And here Solomon tells you that today. He said, we live like, that we have all the time in the world. One man said, I confess that I never realized what it meant to live a day at a time until I was nearly killed in an auto accident. And Solomon said, listen, live life every day. Every day, like, man, are we enjoying our life? Are we enjoying our day? Some of us, we say, man, next Saturday, we're going to have a great time. Instead of saying, today, I'm going to have a great time. Tomorrow, we're going to have a better time. A lot of us plan our days, weeks, and months away, or we plan our way years away. And God is saying, listen, you better start learning to enjoy your individual days right now. You got 24 hours in a day. That means you got to get up and say, God, this is the day that you have made. I'm going to enjoy my life today, my marriage today, my children today, my job today, my salvation today, he says. So we need to thank God for the day He's given us. Don't waste it. You know what David said? David said his words and they're amazing. The length of our days is 70 years or 80. If we have strength, their span is but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass away and we fly away. Remember what I said when you look at a year, the Bible says that we have 70 years.